Hello, everyone, and welcome to another month energy reading. I am Stef. I'm a psychic business empowerment coach, and I help people to manifest whatever they want in their personal lives as well as their business. I do this through teaching people about energy and how to understand what their limiting beliefs, thoughts, fears, insecurities are. These things are influencing their energy, and how to release the limiting thoughts, beliefs, feelings, emotions, all those things in order to then raise their vibration, raise their energy to come into alignment with the things that they desire. So that way they manifest those things more easily. So that's how I help people. I also support people via Facebook. I have a free Facebook group. I have a Facebook business page. So on my Facebook business page, I do weekly energy readings. So if you enjoy this monthly energy reading, definitely make sure to follow me on my Facebook page, because that's where I do weekly energy readings week after week to let you know what to expect from the week in terms of energy and what could arise in terms of events that week and how to make most of the energy showing up that week. And I also have that free Facebook group that I just mentioned, where I do free teachings, such as the teachings that I do here on my YouTube channel to help support people. So if you want to follow me there, the links to those social media channels are in the description of this video. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I share my journeys, my travels around the world. Right now I'm in Colombia, as you can see from the tower back there that's like shining the colors of the flag of Colombia, and I just arrived this past week. So I'm just now getting around to doing this monthly energy reading. So by the way, if you enjoy this weekly or this monthly energy reading, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up, a like, wherever you're watching from. Drop me a comment, anything you want to share with me on how this energy reading resonated with you, and definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this reading and you want to see more readings like this and receive more of my teachings, okay? So let's get into the monthly energy reading. What I got when I tuned in and I asked, what the theme for this month was really about. Like, what is this month going to bring for us? What I heard immediately was ascending beyond limitations, okay? So what they said is there are many of you wishing to rise above certain challenges or circumstances or stories you have been experiencing for quite some time now. I feel like they say this every month or every week, but this is how it is. The month of November is to rising above limitations you feel had been placed on. This is a highly transformational month if you choose to look within and accept and honor what it is that has been causing you to experience these things and the purpose that they have served in your existence. When you are able to see your role in these manifestations, their purpose, and you step into your power to shift them, things will swiftly begin changing in your experience. Limitations only feel like limitations when you see them from a limited, narrow perspective that is not connected to who you truly are. You must choose to step into a higher level of consciousness. We also wish to address that transcending the limitations is also deeper. It is about energetically choosing to feel different as you face them. It's a visceral shift that must be made within you, in which you are more deeply connected to your truth, and by so doing, you transcend all the levels of your being beyond the limitations you feel you have been dealing with, okay? Take a look around. Where do you feel you are being limited in life? How have you been handling these limitations? How have you been giving your power away to these limitations? And how would the highest version of you view these limitations and feel about them, okay? The month of November is really about coming back to your truth as a spiritual being. It's about choosing to no longer give your power away to things you once felt beyond your control. It's about stepping into your power as creators, knowing that you can create whatever you desire in spite of what is or where you currently are or where you stand. Sorry, sometimes I don't understand what I write. Choose to ascend this month into the powerful beings you truly are. So what they're saying is that the month of November is really great month to ascend spiritually. Because what happens is a lot of times people want the limitations to disappear. They want the physical to change already. They want these challenging circumstances or these crap situations or limitations that they're feeling that they're going through. But to shift things in the physical, you first need to shift things in the spiritual and the energetic. And so this means that you need to choose to ascend, and ascending in terms of your consciousness. And your consciousness is basically like, for me, I know I've given a channeled definition on what consciousness means before. I can't remember right now, but right now, consciousness for me is the perspective which you hold as you experience things in life. And so a lot of times we have a very human, limited, negative perspective as we experience things in life. We will see them as bad. We will see them as not fair, unjust. We will see them as hard. We will see them as struggle. This is the perspective that we're bringing to these limitations, to these challenges, to these things that we're experiencing in life. But you must choose to elevate yourself, to rise above that in terms of your consciousness, to choose to see them differently, to choose to see them how the highest version of you or the spiritual version of you would perceive all of those things, see all the good in it, seeing how it's supporting you in learning certain things and stepping into your purpose and whatever it is, to choose to see things differently so that it works for you, so you no longer see it as a limitation, so you no longer feel overwhelmed by it or pulled down by it or being punished in some kind of way or whatever it is that you're feeling. You must choose to rise in your consciousness above that. You must choose to also in how you view limitations. Give me the words. A lot of times people feel like these limitations are such a bad thing, like they're holding them back from getting what they want or doing what they want or being who they want to be or whatever it is. But you need to understand your role in the limitations that you have created, because you are a powerful creator. And so if you're experiencing any limitations in your life right now, that's all a product of what you've created energetically, and you need to step into your personal responsibility over that. You need to recognize your role in that in order to then be able to transcend and ascend, transcend that limitation and ascend in your consciousness. You must see that, because otherwise you're going to keep, keeping yourself where you've been at energetically. So you need to recognize your role in that, to assume that, to honor that, how it's supporting your growth, how it's supporting greater alignment, how it's supporting a lot of things in your life right now. To get you to where you want to be, to have the things you want to have, to become who you want to become. And then what else? And then what they also said was, that this is not just an intellectual understanding of how these limitations you created are serving you, because there are quite a number of people that follow me that are spiritually evolved and that they understand these concepts of, all of these things are working for me. I'll do these in quotes because it's kind of like what I'm getting in my mind is like these people who are more spiritually evolved or have these higher spiritual understandings kind of feel like sometimes when they're feeling like they have so many limitations and they're struggling and they're feeling like life is not fair, they're kind of like little kids kind of complaining like, oh, I know this is working for me and not against me and and it's helping me. It's kind of like they're whining a lot. And it's okay, like I've been there, so I get it. But if you understand it intellectually, how these limitations are not really limitations, how they're serving you and they're part of your creation and so on and so forth, you understand it intellectually. It's one thing to understand it intellectually, and it's another thing to elevate yourself in terms of your consciousness and your energy to really transcend that limitation. Because some people get stuck in just the mental, the logical, the analytical, the intellectual. Some people are like, yeah, I know this is supposed to work for me, and but they haven't really made that internal visceral shift that the guys were talking about. They haven't really shifted internally into a deep state of acceptance around that limitation, into a deep state of gratitude, into a deep state of personal responsibility. They haven't shifted internally enough to really solidify that ascension that they're wanting to step into. They've only ascended maybe in terms of the intellectual and the understanding of it, but not in the emotional, not in the spiritual, not in the energetic, not in the physical. Like those internal shifts yet haven't been made yet. And so this is what they're wanting you to do, is to really ascend in all these other levels that you're needing to ascend at this time, and how you're viewing your limitations and so on and so forth. So I really encourage you to get out your journal and to write out these responses that you may have to the questions that they gave you, because these are questions that I channeled for all of you to support you. Is take a look around at your life. Where do you feel you're being limited in life? Okay. Maybe in terms of romance. Maybe you feel like there's not enough good people out there for you to connect with. Maybe it's around business. Maybe it's around your health. Maybe it's around your finances, whatever it is. Where do you feel you're being limited in life? How have you been handling these limitations? So really think about how you've been handling those things, how you've been dealing with them, addressing them. Have you been hiding? Have you been complaining? Have you been avoiding? Have you been, I don't know, angry? Frustrated? How have you been handling them? Have you been doing something about them, or have you been just focusing on the problem? Like, how have you been handling these perceived limitations? Then how have you been giving your power away to them? So how have you been giving your power to these limitations? Have you been stressing out about them? Have you been worrying about them? Have you been scared of them? Have you been feeling overwhelmed by them, unsupported, whatever it is? How have you been giving your power away to these things, letting them get the best of you? Okay. And then how would the highest version of you view these things? How would the highest version of you feel about these limitations, these things, the empowered version of yourself, or the spiritual version of yourself? How would that version of yourself handle these things, view these things and feel about these things? And then trying to tune into that. And then just reflecting on what you need to shift in terms of your consciousness, in terms of your perception, in order to no longer view these things as limitations. And like I said, if you are one of those people who intellectually understands the limitations from a higher consciousness state, then I want you to reflect on, what needs to shift, maybe spiritually, emotionally, physically, energetically inside of you, to really make that deep inner shift and to ascend those perceived limitations once and for all, so they don't continue to be manifested by you and affect you as you move forward in your journey. So November is a really powerful month to ascend spiritually, to raise our consciousness, to step into our personal power. But you have to decide to do that, and the only way for you to be able is to reflect on these things and to choose to no longer go down the same path, no longer repeat the same patterns, no longer create the same reality, to choose to no longer see things from that limited or negative perspective that you have been. And that way you can allow yourself to embody more of who you truly are as you experience these things. And as you embody more of who you truly are, and you show up in that way, when you make that shift spiritually, when you hold that in your energetic frequency, because you're no longer viewing things negatively, you're no longer emotionally being affected by them, you're no longer, physically maybe being affected by them, energetically being affected by them, etc. When you're no longer being affected by them because you've really transcended those things, when you have elevated yourself on that level energetically, then the physical will shift with you. But it starts with you choosing to ascend first in your consciousness, in your, emotions, beliefs, and all this other stuff. Okay. So I really hope that this has helped you. If it has, drop me a comment in the comments of this video. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how it supported you. Let me know what questions you have, insights, whatever you want to share with me. Let me know in the comments below. I would really love to hear from you. If you feel someone could benefit from watching this video, share this video with them. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up or like wherever you're watching from. Make sure to subscribe to get more of these energy readings and my teachings if you really resonated with them. And that's basically it. I wish you all an amazing evening. Have an amazing November. Do your best to ascend, to up-level, to raise your consciousness. It's a process. We do one step at a time. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. I send you all so much love. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.